Shalom, shalom. This video is about the prophet portion of Parashat Ki-Tisa. It is from the first book of Kings, chapter 18, and the whole chapter. It is about Elijah's showdown with the prophets of Baal. There's an interesting observation to be made regarding Baal. It means husband or owner or master or lord in a respectful or polite manner. It implies subservientness and submission, but it could be used even as to welcome a guest. As a fertility god, Baal service therefore means to be subservient to your husband or maybe to your leader. It also implies that the bride or the wife, not of the Messiah, not of Mashiach, but of manliness, and a bull god like the Egyptian Apis or a golden bull calf really fits the bill perfectly. Baal service also smacks of prosperity gospel because it advocates to live your best life now, that type of stuff, to chase your dreams, to strive for human perfection, to reach self-actualization. Come on, you can do it. You have unlimited potential. You are a God. This is how the prophet's portion of the scripture links to the Ki-Tisa portion in the Torah. The question is, will the one true God please stand up so that we can recognize him? In our day, we also see emerging technologies. I've just last week read about new AI chips that contains living human brain cells. They grow the brain cells on the chip to bring some human intuition into AI, and it therefore requires much less data to make a decision, and it runs off a lower power source as well, lower energy. There is another chance for you to become subservient to Baal. Hamas and the godless nations of the world, Hamas after October the 7th, 2023, when they attacked Israel, they have been accusing Israel of the very crimes that they were guilty of. They commit genocide, they accuse Israel. The media with their agenda against Israel are happy to lap up these allegations, but the allegations is not true. It is they taking their own crimes and alleging that Israel is doing that. It's not a new thing. It comes from biblical times. And we read in this prophet portion that Ahab, the king, blamed Elijah for the 3 years of drought that Israel suffered. And that is the same spirit that is in play. And that's why the tactic is the same, the allegations is the same, the shifting of the blame is exactly the same. The crux of this passage from the prophet portion is Elijah's challenge to the nation. If Adonai is God, follow him. He goes on to say, if Baal is God, follow him as well. But it's about Adonai, to serve the one true God. And that you can read specifically 1 Kings 18 verse 21. That is the challenge that's out there in the world today as well. You have to make a decision who to follow. Will you, if Adonai is God, follow him. And if you delay the decision, it is a decision made against Adonai, a decision for Baal. Elijah challenged the prophets of Baal to a cook-off. They built altars to sacrifice on. They agreed that the God who answers with fire from heaven, he is the one true God. Baal's prophet accepted the challenge, but their demon god was not able to answer their begging calls. And he will not be able to do so until Adonai allows him to do so. And that will happen. You can read about it in Revelation 13:13, which at the time was a hard test for true believers. and to separate true believers from the lost. In Elijah's time, the prophets of Baal failed, and Adonai and his prophet Elijah triumphed. That will be the same in Revelation, that Adonai will triumph. It will actually be Adonai Yeshua who will triumph. He is Adonai Tsevaot. If you visit Israel and go to the Elijah place on top of Mount Carmel, it's called Muhraqah. It is the exact place where Elijah's cook-off with the prophets of Baal happened. From there, when you stand there, you overlook the Megiddo Valley. You can see an IDF Air Force base to the north, and you can make Tel Megiddo out far to the south. Tel Megiddo is also known as Har Megiddo, or in Greek, or as we say in English, Armageddon. This is the valley where the Gog Magog will be fought. Napoleon Bonaparte went to Muhraqah, the Elijah place, in 1790. He stood there overlooking this valley, the Megiddo Valley, and he said it was the most perfect battleground that God could ever have created. And through the ages, there has been several battles there, and Muhraqah has been a great place for commanding generals to stand, see the battleground, see the battle developing, and directing their soldiers from there. It is an amazing place. For now, the Megiddo Valley is an amazingly fertile food basket. It is from corner to corner filled with crops. It's so beautiful. From Muhraqah, the Elijah place, you can see the Air Force base, and so the hint of what is to come is there. Elijah's slaying of the prophets of Baal there at Muhraqah on top of Mount Carmel in the Elijah place, it was the prophetic foreplay of what will happen in the Gog Magog battles. The first of the two Gog Magog battles will happen on Yom Teruah, the day when Yeshua returns. He'll return to the Mount of Olives, but a sword will come out of his mouth. He will destroy Gog Magog with a sharp word, and it will be horrible. The prophecy says in Revelation 13:13, the valley will be filled with blood. And when I realized that, standing there, that really tore me up. It broke me apart. The tremendous suffering, righteously though, that will happen there. Unbelievable. It's very meaningful for us to read this passage in the week before we celebrate Purim. In Purim is the festival that comes from the book of Esther, when Israel's enemies were slain. And the enemies of Israel, who are the enemies of Adonai, they will be slain for sure. And Am Israel Chai, the people of Israel, will live. So let me say, Chag Purim Sameach, because it is celebrating the victory, even the victory to come. And then, as the Jews say, let's eat. Incidentally, when you are at Muhraqah and you come down Mount Carmel, you may encounter simple Druze people selling roadside cooked meals on the side of the road. I highly recommend that you stop there and eat with them. Their food's absolutely delicious. Don't drive past them without stopping for a meal there. And that's what I have to say about this week's Prophet's portion. Put your trust in Adonai Eloheinu. My prayer is that He will bless you and keep you, even when enemies face you. That He will shine His face upon you. It means He will smile lovingly upon you and that He will be gracious to you, and He has been gracious to you already through Yeshua HaMashiach. He will, I pray that He will provide for your every need, and that He will give you shalom. That means to make you complete, so that you're a whole person, and to give you peace. Peace even in the midst of the battle. Shalom, shalom.